Three, two, one.
You're listening to Squatch Talks Podcast. Real stories and real encounters told by real researchers. Sit back, relax, and enjoy the show.
Welcome back to Squatch Talks Podcast.
How's everybody doing tonight?
Better and better. Happy New Year, everybody.
Yeah, hope everybody had a good Christmas. Got all the toys they wanted. I didn't.
Oh, I'm sorry, Nathan. That's why I hate to even talk about some of that. I was spoiled. I don't even like to share it with people because I mean, paws don't always get everything because of your obligations. But you know me, I was a good boy this year, and Santa brung me some nice stuff. But I won't go over it again. We talked a little bit about it on our live stream. But I will say it was a good year. And tonight, actually, what is tonight? It's a special occasion. It won't be tonight when we air this on Saturday, but tonight, Nathan and I are celebrating a year anniversary of doing this thing. So
it's tonight.
Happy anniversary, bro.
Wow. 1 year. Holy shit.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. You know?
Yeah, I didn't even realize it was today.
It's today. I'm going to check our Zoom thing to see if we're going to get like shortened tonight or something. Or do we want to switch to StreamYard or something else? I don't know.
Yeah.
I have to figure it out real quick. But hey, man, we got over 55 videos, 56, I forget, a few shorts. That's a decent year in review, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. It's been a good time.
So this weekend, we have a guest joining us. It's pretty exciting also because we are looking forward to a new year and a new bar with the Yeti brothers. So we have one of the Yeti brothers from New Mexico joining us. Tyrel actually reached out to me today with some ideas about our Squatch Talks podcast bar.
Very good. Very good.
And I ran it by my brother Nathan, and we think we came up with something. So shall we bring Tyrel onto the call?
We should.
Let me invite him on here. We're going to invite Tyrel from the Yeti Brothers to the show. Give him a second to sign on, and we'll get acquainted. Hey.
How are you?
How are you doing, man?
Excellent. I'm Eric. This is my brother from another, Nathan. And I just got done introducing you, that you were going to be joining us, Tyrel.
Thank you very much for having me tonight, guys. I really appreciate it.
Well, we appreciate you.
Thanks for everything you're doing, man. That's great. Handmade soap. That's really cool stuff, man. Really cool stuff.
Oh, well, we're trying. We actually let me turn down the music a little bit. I got mine.
Yeah.
I was actually gonna right when you guys came on, I was gonna do this, like have something like I'm a supernatural fanatic and I love Oh Brother Where Art Thou, the old soundtrack. So cool. When this stuff together, I was like, well, it ain't gonna get no better than that. But I'm just kidding.
No, man, that's awesome. We're all about it. You know what I mean? We talk Squatch and we're Squatch Talks Podcast, but we've done, you know, other types of paranormal investigations and we're branching out. You know what I mean? So
well, first of all, I just want to say thank you guys for having me. Sorry, kind of a wreck. I'm just gonna go ahead and do this right in my house. I got the wife and kids over here exercising in the other room. I won't embarrass and turn the
camera. Don't worry. We've had both our wives on as guests. It's cool. Yeah. But no, we are just having fun. You know what I mean? This isn't about like all the polished shows you might have been on, like Dixie's show. I know. In fact, I was just saying to Nathan, he and I did a live stream with Dixie, right? Cam's channel, the same night that you were on. You were on before me, and then Nathan came on and joined Cam and I.
You know, I do remember that because that's one of the only live feeds I actually got to get on, because other times I try and then when you own a business, it's like, say when you get a huge run on the store, you gotta, well, boys, this was fun, but I'm back in the truck. I gotta
go.
Thanks for I always like to get our story out there. You know,
we talk about you every week. Are you kidding, brother?
Yeah.
Right. But in all honesty, it's always good to kind of put a face behind the company.
Indeed.
Not a lot of people get to do that. And when we entered into this industry, we thought, to tell you the truth, we thought we were just going to be in a flea market somewhere. And to tell you the truth, we launched because we worked our butts off, man. The three things that we try to pride ourselves on the best is basically product control, customer service, and basically always just trying our best to just try. We don't want to ever treat anybody like an empty email. We've obviously sorry about the hair. Sorry, a couple times. You know what I mean? We're never going to be perfect, but we've been treated like a number, an email, and oh, sorry, we're finally getting back to you. And it says Mel or Damien because the the email no.
Damien.
Or Damon and all that. It's like, oh man, why did they name it that? It's the Obtuse Dominus.
I never thought of that. That's great.
But we try our best. We just want to treat people how we want to be treated. That's just all it really is to it. But
totally,
no, we make soap. But to tell you the truth, we've actually had a pretty interesting story. And but first, if you guys had any questions for me, kind of like, we talked earlier, anything that you guys want to know, man, we're open book. But besides that, if you guys want to hear a story, I definitely have one for you.
Absolutely. No, we were very interested. You just basically told us about who you are as a company. You know what I mean? Just a couple of brothers who started out. You mentioned to me you had some family with some skin issues, and you got interested in making soap, right?
Yep.
And you got certified to continue on, kind of like I did with my mom. I got into business with my mother in the health food store. I went on to become certified as a nutritional consultant and a shiatsu practitioner, and took it to that next level, But you did that as well, and you guys are really banging out some fine products, and we're enjoying them ourselves. And I'm carrying them here at my store. You know what I mean? So I'm spreading it with people in the area.
Thank you. It's actually been an honor. We've been blessed to we kind of got caught up in the whole COVID thing. Like everybody else did. I think it turned pretty much everybody's world upside down. Left was right, up was down, black was white. It was I never thought I'd live through something like that. That stuff you read in books like by George Orwell to subdue the mind of people and to get them in another direction. Wink, wink. But it is what it is. It actually I always tell everybody we had kind of like a COVID Bob Ross. It turned out to be quite a beautiful little beautiful tree right there. My brother and I started a company. It was for our daughters. Like I said, the recipe we use is the recipe that doesn't hurt them. So I mean, it's nothing special. It took us a while to really figure it out, and man, I got a lot of nasty burns on my skin from
trying it out.
I really did. And I was like, you know what? I should probably, because at first I did it a little bit before my daughter was born, because I've always loved soaps and handcrafted soaps and stuff like that. Ever since I went to this hippie shop, like I said earlier in Alaska, I was like, ooh, what is this? And they're like, that's soap. And I'm like, oh, I thought this was a square thing of wax. And I'm like, that's what soap smells like. So like, I thought soap smelled like, I don't know, like mop cleaner in a way, but different ways of mop cleaner. It's extra awesome mop cleaner. What about this one? Oh, that one's a little bit, not as good mop cleaner. But no, so we got into making soap. We fell in love with it. We like I said, we just got blessed. We put our hard work to the test, and so now, like earlier today when we were talking back and forth, I was sitting there making the last loaf of the new Yeti Pebbles bar that we made for the Junior Yeti line.
I watched your video. Pretty impressive. Yeah.
We thought of so many different ways to do that. We were like, you know what? Let's just make a bar that's like blue, yellow, green. And then I'm sitting there and I'm thinking, you know what? I got a daughter that paints a lot, and I'm sort of a little bit of an artist myself. You blend all that together, you got yourself a beautiful shade of poop. So you're like, let's just do this. So those little individual chunks that in a video that we made that you see, those are scented as well. So we made 4 prior loaves that, chop those to pieces, and I'm gonna make a little video of kind of like a tranquil thing of me just cutting those things into pieces, because I don't know, I'm into watching those videos myself.
Totally. No, that's great. And it's funny because my wife loves Fruity Pebbles. And she's, by the way, is really loving the Shroot deodorant that Santa brought her for Christmas. So,
thank you so much. We have
good job.
Thank you. We actually got some reviews on that, and we've actually started to add a really good, we were able to get in abundance a really expensive clay for real cheap to make the deodorant start lasting about 5 hours now. So you can just use it like a normal stick. You don't got to apply it 3 times like you do natural deodorant and stuff like that. So
I think the one that I got her was good clay because it's not lasting 5 hours.
We just put this into production maybe a week ago.
Right.
But no, we got thinking about it too. My older brother, he was like, dude, I love our deodorant. I'm like, yeah, you just apply it like all the other hippie deodorant, basically. He's like, yeah, but pardon my language, I don't want to do that crap. And he told me, I was like, you know what? I don't either. So what do we do? He's like, well, why don't you just stop making it? And I was like, or I could just make it better. I can find a way. That's the good thing about, in all honesty, owning a company that, I don't know how to say that you make your products. I'll just say it that way. You have a lot of liberty. You know, you can go in and just change something like that. Once we got our feedback, we got some people that are like, no, we want to keep it the way it is because it's all natural. We don't mind. And we're like, no, this doesn't change it. Yeah, this isn't a metal. This isn't a soda. This isn't any kind of preservative at all.
Right.
So we're done. Just make it last longer without really hurting anybody. Well, not really, without hurting anybody.
Right.
So then let me ask you then, what is Eli's role in the company? Is he the spokesperson?
No, I'm more kind of like the face of the company. No, he does our marketing. He does kind of like our trends. In all honesty, he does the so before I do anything, I make something and I'll send him a bar of it, right? And 1 second. I'll send him a bar of it. And he's a very good guy. He's really honest with me. He'd be like, hey dude, that bar you made, yeah, it's shit. Well, that's his role. Be honest with me. Don't ever lie to me. Yeah, dude, I don't want to do that crap 3 times a day. Don't blame you. Don't blame you. If you're thinking it, that means someone else is thinking it. So that means I need to do this. And since I've, so no, he's more of the voice in my ear, my marketing guy, all of that. He just kind of like when I do my traveling and stuff like that, he lines all the events through the years, lines things up for like the year long. He sets the calendar for the company basically.
Wow.
And then by me, I'm actually more of a, I guess you could think of it as warehouse. I cook the soap, I make the soap, I make all of our deodorant, all of our products, except the shirts. I don't sit there and sew the shirts and the hats. That's just I ain't got time for that. So, but yeah, we kind of run it like a 2-tier system. He runs and he runs all of the social media, stuff like that. We take turns on that, because I have funny stuff I like to do and stuff like that. But pretty much we try to run it as a family. Even our dad, we call him Papa Yeti. He runs the fulfillment center. He packages all the packages and stuff like that, and it really is a family business. We don't have like a fulfillment center, like where you put things and go have a fulfillment center, print off all the labels, literally do everything. And we're at it from, I can't even explain this, and this is probably TMI, but from the shitter in the morning, from 5 a.m. until, we just got done eating dinner real quick, even after I'm done with you guys, and again, thanks for having me. I'm going to go out there and cut some soap,
nice.
Make sure that everything's setting up right, because soap's a lot like plants in a germination stage. That first stage is everything, and it can go south of cheese real quick. So you just want to keep an eye on it. And if about 3 hours in, if it hasn't exploded, and I got to think about that, you're golden.
That's awesome.
Started making the Dreamsicle bar. The fragrance that I used reacts at a very sensitive temperature. So started making everything at super cold temperatures, because right at 80 degrees, I was mixing it. Oh, this is all good. Pour it, walk away. And all I hear on the other side of the wall is like that. I was like, what was that? And I go running in there and I see this stuff on the floor, and I'm like, hey guys, I thought. Then the other one goes up. The other one, it was like something out of a movie. I'm not kidding. The other one, because it was right here on the shelf, that's about chest to ear. Like, oh, just takes you out just like that. And I'm like, all right, boys, we're gonna have to scrap this just like. And I tried it at a cooler temperature just because of, like, again, the classes I took, the certification I got, I learned some things, and so I do it all at cold temperatures now. But yeah, man, we've had some interesting times here at the Lairs, and again, that's
cool.
what he just lets me have it. But to tell you the truth, we just like, honestly, just in all honesty, being a real company. Like I said earlier, having a face, you can see us, you can email us, we'll call you back. Most of the time, we try to honestly limit our callbacks to the elderly, because we do get a lot. In which we're not saying that another call is more important than another, but it's like the elderly, they can't pop.
They're not as savvy on the fancy thinking box. Yeah,
my dad called, man. I want to help this guy. I don't want to be like, well, damn it, I can't figure it out, so I'm out of luck.
Yeah.
We get we get blessed with a lot of those, because those are orders. So you know what I mean? But besides that, man, we just
hopefully they're using STP10 when they give the code at checkout. But guys, I'm holding a bar of Dixie Cryptid, okay, which of course we talked about earlier. And it's a great scent. But tell us, Ty, what are we gonna have waiting for us with the Squatch Talks podcast bar? What do we talk about?
Got planned. This is what we've got in the works. We've got 2 different scents going. Of course, it's gonna be a masculine scent. We're thinking whiskey and tobacco, because I know how that sounds and I can't explain it. Don't think ashtrays and half-filled glasses in a bar. Don't think that. Think of the materials like an actual tobacco leaf, and then the whiskey. Again, kind of like as we spoke earlier, and I went and looked at it just to make sure. And I was like, you know what? It didn't smell like it, and it's not a bourbon smell, because to tell you the truth, I'm not a.
I thought you said whiskey, and I thought you said bourbon or whiskey and coffee. Though. Yeah.
No. It should have been. I might have hit a typo again. It was super early, but it should.
It was early.
I'm sorry. No. It is. My wife was, no, you got me, because again, it was the cologne she got me. It's whiskey and coffee. I'm sorry.
Thank you. Because our friends at Black Rifle, of course.
And I do like my bourbon, so.
I just want to say this. But speaking of that, Black Rifle, I actually am addicted to Tact Squatch. Coffee. Oh, don't tell me you got one right there.
Right here. And in my Yeti mug.
Okay. So every time we go to the store, our store here in Farmington sells out immediately ever since they started selling it locally. So I'll go there every morning and I'll look just for that black and yellow. They'll have it for the Keurig, and I'm like, I ain't got no Keurig.
I don't got a Keurig either. But no, this sucker was the last bag they had. And I told the guy, Dave at the Patriot store I was at today, I said, dude, I just got 2 bags on the special deal from them direct. I got 2 bags for like free shipping, $13 and change. Yeah. So I bought this bag for $18. Okay. But if I divide all that by 3, I still paid like what? $8. So that's not bad.
Just say, you know what? It's that damn good.
It is.
If I couldn't get it at my store and I had another chance, I was like, hey man, it's hard times. How bad do you want it?
This is the first cup though of Tactus Squatch that I'm having, because I got some different flavors, of course, and I was kind of saving the Tactus Squatch, but I'm pleased.
I do mine in a French press, man, and I tell you what, I grew up in buses and tents. Again, a lot of people immediately think homeless.
Alaska.
It's hard to explain, man. When you live in the north, the atmosphere, it's a completely different scenario than like other places. So
yeah, man.
You ain't got no electricity. So you bust out that French press, man. You just get that water boiling over there in the skillet or whatever you got on the fire. And then you're out there, you're like Alfred, Batman's butler, but in the woods. No, a perfect 30 seconds with the swirl. Don't you push too hard. You got to have at least 20 seconds. And don't you dare press two. It's ruined.
It's ruined. Well, hey, Nathan, don't we use a French press method on Expedition now?
We do.
Huh?
That's what I'm talking about, guys. That's what I'm talking.
Yep.
Cool.
But yeah, guys, to tell you the truth, it's actually really good to be on. But if you guys are ready, I've actually got
a story to tell, right? You're gonna share a story. Awesome.
And
we're ready.
I said you're Bigfoot and stuff like that, but I always assume that if you believe in Bigfoot, you believe in the whole pie, you know.
Oh, yeah.
So mine is actually a supernatural story. It's a story of something that actually is still happening to this day, to even this moment we speak. So here we go. I'm gonna tell you guys a story about a guy named Sam, and I know it's really weird because almost every scary movie I love, the guy's name is Sam, and we find it every time we hear it. Me and my wife and I, we just So it goes like this. So I told you guys I grew up in the North. Well, in my teenage years, I grew up in Bozeman, Montana. That was kind of like always home base. We'd leave somewhere. We'd always come back to Bozeman about every 3.5 years or so. And anyway, I'm in there as a teenager, and me and we have a little garage band. So I play the guitar, I sing, I drum, I play. As a musician, you just eventually start playing all of it, you know. And we're going up to Butte, Montana, one of the largest Irish settlements in Montana that they have, and it's actually if I believe correctly, it's one of the original Irish settlements in all of America, I believe so. So anyway, we're going up there. We're going up there to do high school crap for high school reasons. We'll just leave it at that. And about halfway through there's a giant mountain pass. And on the backside of this mountain, you can take another pass. It's a shortcut, actually, to get to Butte without taking a scary downhill in the winter so you don't slide off to your death. But when you're going up the pass, right before you get to the part of the mountain where it's cut out, it's in this big old train tunnel. And you can actually go through that tunnel it's not a big one. You can actually see the light on the other end. So I'd say it's less than a quarter mile, maybe even less than that. But anyway, on the road, you can look down and see that train tunnel. Just remember that train tunnel because it's very, very important. So we stop right there at that marker, if you will, on the highway, and we get out of our car. It's me, my brother, and Eli. And so what we're doing is we're walking up and you can Google it. I think you can even Google it. And everybody in Montana kind of knows you just don't go to this place. There's a child's like voodoo doll cemetery right there off in the woods about 200 or 300 feet, not very far. I'm talking real original Blair Witchy kind of stuff. So as we go there, we're actually walking up, and then you can just immediately just start seeing things in the branches tied to it. It was actually, we should have just immediately been like, hey, you know what? This is stupid. Let's just tuck tail. Yeah, man, I'm cool. I'm willing to, throw down my man card for a few seconds if you guys do. We're not even technically 18 yet. Let's just bail. And but so we keep going, and as we get going, it gets a little serious, actually, because as soon as you get about, I don't know, maybe about 20, 30 feet past those first kind of like hanging markers, you start seeing old school dolls. Kind of like, I want to say porcelain dolls, but they were a little bit newer than that, so they weren't that old, they weren't like 1800 stuff. So they were still kind of like a rubbery substance, but they weren't quite rubber either, but they were heads cut off, stuff like that. Keep going past that. And then you can actually start seeing big old kind of like disturbed plots of dirt where obviously something the size of an animal, a baby, was buried. There's probably, I don't know, from what I could honestly see, just maybe about 2 or 3 of them, with my own eye. It was one of those things, as soon as I saw that, I don't know if you guys have ever been in that situation. I'm sure you have. If I had hairs in my elbows, they would have stood up, man. Just every alarm went off. And I got scared, shaking. I just told Eli, I was like, man, we got to get out of here, please. Let's just roll. No, I don't care. Let's just get out of here. And so we start walking back to the car, just real safe, because the underbrush up there is real thick. So you can't run and that stuff. You got to step, real lightly, things cracking, twigs everywhere. So everything and its mom knows you're there. So we get back to the car uneventful. That's not the crazy part of it. Here's what happened when we were getting, I even get the chills on the back of my neck right now just thinking about it. When we got in the car, we went to smoke a little something, as high school kids do. And I just looked, I don't know why, but I just looked over at that train tunnel, and there was a really, really pale man in an old school Manila suit that looked like maybe from like the 30s, and a little, I don't know what those hats are called, a small, thin hat that was round. It looked like a salesman. And he just smiled at me. And he just smiled at me.
Oh, wow.
And I almost get tears. And when he smiled at me, it was the first time in my life I'd ever had a panic attack.
Wow.
My brother and my friend thought I was having a seizure. I just started going at it. It's long story short. We get to Butte, we do our thing, we get back to town. My brother's kind of like, "Hey man, are you okay? We need to tell Dad. Do you need to go to a doctor?" Because he thought it was a seizure. Said, "No man, I can't explain it." I was like, "I don't know what happened. I saw that dude that was staring at us, and I'd never been so scared. Even now, like I just want to cry. I'm so scared."
Wow.
Never felt. It was just, I can't explain it. I was like, "You guys really didn't see this?" Like, "Dude, what are you talking about?" I said, "Dude, that guy was just staring at us." And I can't explain it. I felt just utter terror. Like I was in hell for that. I can't explain it. I never felt so afraid in my life. And I faced a lot of scary situations living the way I did. I'm talking, you could just die at any second because it was cold, stuff like that. And
wow, man.
So anyway, as life goes on, even now, I can't explain it. So when I get panic attacks every once in a while. I haven't had one in about 3 years. And every time, right before I have a panic attack, I see that man wave at me. And right when he waves at me, I can't explain it. I get like a euphoric cold rush go through my body. And it's just like it's almost like if somebody just turns off the lights and just, and that's just it. And then when I wake up, I'm just so weak. I have to, there's been instances where I've almost bathroom on myself. It's been so bad, like with the panic attack and stuff. And
wow.
And when I first moved down to New Mexico in about 2006, that was kind of one of the reasons I left Montana, was to see if I could get away from this thing. I didn't have a name for it. It just, people thought I was having panic attacks. I didn't tell about it. Not even my own brother.
Right.
I thought I had an alarm go off. Not even my own brother. I didn't want to sound crazy. We're not a religious family, but we believe in God.
Spiritual.
Yeah, spiritual. And it was just one of those things I couldn't explain it. So I didn't want to sound crazy. And at the same time, I don't know if you've ever had a situation like that, but you instantly go back, did it really even happen? But then it keeps happening. It keeps happening every time. And then when I moved down here to New Mexico, to Farmington, New Mexico, that's where we live, right on the edge of the Navajo Nation Reservation. That goes up through about Colorado, New Mexico, Arizona area. We live right there on the Colorado, New Mexico border on the mountains. So I moved down here in 2006, and I'm just sitting there and I'm watching on cable at my house. I'm watching old Nickelodeon Nick at Night episodes. You guys remember that way back in the day, Nick at Night?
Sure.
Anyway, they had a show on there. It was called Are You Afraid of the Dark? And I was just watching the show. I used to watch it all the time when I was a kid. Whenever we'd just go and have TV every now and then, stuff like that. I'd watch. And I just see this episode with this guy on a train sitting there, choot, choot, real slow, the mist. And he's coming in, and it's that guy.
Oh my God.
The episode, you can Google it. That's him. That's the man I saw. When I that episode, I started having a panic attack right then and there. And all I could hear is, I once had a nightmare. This nightmare's name is Sam. I've never had this dream before, but Sam knows who I am. And I'm just sitting there flipping out.
Oh, crap.
Wow.
I'm sitting and I'm screaming, and I can't even help it. I'm screaming at my little brother at my time lived with me. And he's sitting there and he's trying to wake me up. And I'm just sitting there screaming, just flopping around like that. And Nickelodeon's. and when I finally came to, man, I can't explain it. It was in my head for I started writing songs to it. I started it got really weird, and then finally I met my wife, and then what kind of scared me straight, if you will, was one night my wife wakes me up, and I just see her looking at a figure in our doorway. Like, I can't tell if this is a figure or not. And she's just looking at it and goes, "You know what, Sam, get out of here." She called it Sam.
Wow.
And get out of here. And when I was looking at it, I can't explain it, but it left when my wife told it to leave. I know that's a big deal, but it never left before. It got the better of me, I guess you could say, with the panic attacks. And so it's kind of, I don't want to say it. It's like my wife's like a game of magic, man. She's my car.
She grabbed it by the neck and told him, "Get the heck out.
You're done."
Man, I'm sorry. Get out of here.
Dude. My hairs are standing up, listening to you.
I just, I get afraid to talk about it because I don't
want it to come back.
I give it power, man. I don't want to give it power. And I don't, it's like, even today, I even asked my brother, I was like, "Dude, do you think I should talk about it?" And he goes, "Man, I don't know." And I just said, "Well, dude, it's true." And, to this day, I still kind of, when I start to feel a little tingle in the back of my neck, or if I'm watching something and it kind of triggers, I'm like, is that Sam trying to come through? And I just, no. So,
well, hey, Tyrel, let me tell you, I am a spiritual being as well. And, I have faith in a higher power, right? And, sometimes I call it the Great Spirit when I'm outdoors or whatever. So, I have faith that we have that ability to have faith in something that'll watch over us, and like, if we share something like you just shared with us, it actually allows us then to let it go. You know what I mean? And we don't have to hang on to that anymore. So that's something I like to point out.
Yeah.
Well, if I could, to tell you the truth, it gets a little bit weirder than that. It really does. So I'm convinced that I don't know what's quite going on. Maybe you could say it's haunted, but not haunted in the fact of like, ooh, but I don't know if we curse areas when we go there or what, but ever since my family and that my brother can remember, one of his first memories was telling me that we did live in a trailer one time, and there was a blue light underneath my door. And when he came in and opened up the door, he said at the time, an angel was just floating above me, just telling me stuff as a little kid. And the one thing about me is I was born not really able to speak and hear well for a long, long time. Even now, like, you can stick one of those little scope things that you can buy, to clean your ears. And my left looks like a hollow tunnel. It is quite gross, actually. But and then that occurrence has happened about twice. But the thing is everywhere that we've lived in a lot of areas, and I can't explain this. It seems like everywhere we've ever lived, when we show up there, everything is good. Everything becomes prosperous in the area that we're in, the people around us, never for us personally. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And the second that we are in these areas for like a year or two, second we leave, everything in that area, it's like a garden that falls over dead flowers that wilt. If you can imagine that. People, a lot of the people that we knew are dead. Like, literally, and they've died in very bizarre ways. Like, just going down the road and their car just explodes. Just they're not part of the mafia. What's going on here? Why'd your car just explode and kill you, dude? I'm sorry to be so.
Yeah.
It's been about 11 years since that one, but it's kind of like, what's going on here? Wow. When we'd move to another town and leave that town, kids in that town that we knew, they'd start dying, falling over left and right. It's like when we leave areas, it's kind of like we have in a way, but I say it like this, to the best of my ability. When we show up, we bring the spirit with us, but when we leave, we take the spirit with us.
Yeah.
We take it with us as well. And I can't explain it, but nothing has ever worked out right except for the soap company, and thank God our marriages.
I was gonna say your families.
Yeah.
And it's one of those things that through COVID, I can't explain it. I got scared, but scared for a worldly reason,
Mm-hmm.
Oh, we're gonna lose it all. And I kept kind of thinking with my brother and my dad, like, hey man, you remember that time that we were in the bus in Alaska and we saw that thing come over the sky that looked like the sun? And this is another event. There's an event in 1998 that we lived between a stretch in Palmer, Alaska, between Palmer, Alaska, and a town called Wasilla, Alaska. And in between there, my dad would take me and my brother to school every day from the bus to the public school right there. One day, we're coming back. And if you know anything about Alaska, in the wintertime, the sun never comes up. And in the summertime, it actually never goes down either. So in the summertime, we're coming back from school and we see this giant thing in the sky that we thought was a comet. It looked like the size of the moon coming down to the earth. We're sitting there, and I'm not kidding. This isn't like, what's happening? This is way before smartphones, everything. We thought it was the end of the world. This was really happening. We can't explain it. This thing was coming out of the sky. There was cars swerving off the road looking at this thing. I can't. Have you guys ever heard of a thing called the HARP weather machine?
No,
I haven't.
Well, it's check it out if you get a chance when we get done talking. It's a weather manipulation machine that the government built years ago up in Alaska. And they tried to tell us that the government actually accidentally turned it up too high and it caused us all to see the same thing. Yeah, it was on an actual broadcast on the radio. I can't explain it. It looked like the size of the moon, but the brightness of the sun, and it had a trail that looked like it went back into the galaxies.
Wow.
Missed this. This is like a world ender. People are freaked out right there on this little stretch of road. And then just like that, it was over.
Amazing.
It's like it not like over like it disappeared. It went by. It kept
going.
It kept it. And I don't know how. I mean, other people that we talked to right there on the road, yeah. And hopefully maybe someone that hears this might actually be like, dude, I saw that.
Yeah, that'd be great.
And they can comment and email us also if they have. But and I just have to interrupt though. It's not possible that it might have been like an extraterrestrial type of event.
In all honesty,
there are a lot of them in Alaska, obviously.
It very well could have been because again, it was round. Now I would say this: it was 2D, and to my eyes, you know what I mean. I couldn't see anything as far as depth wise. Again, you saw a bright white circle that I could swear took up the entire sky and a trail behind it. Could it have been extraterrestrial? Yes. Could it have been HARP weather machine?
That I'll look up. So I'm gonna have to look that up. But
I don't know. I don't know. I don't want to know what happens when you turn on a machine so
powerful.
Pop. I don't want to know. Oh, did you hear about? No, I didn't, and I'm good. I don't want to hear. So you don't want to be the guy that they figure out. Oh, that's what happens when you turn that up. You don't want to be the dude that his head explodes. But no, it's hard to explain the stuff that we've seen, and we've had many people tell us, dude, why don't you guys write books? Because we have people in these areas that I think probably have social media now that we could probably find,
right?
And be like, dude, Billy, do you remember? Yeah, that was crazy times in Alaska. All of our kids from Bozeman, all of our kids from Troy. It's crazy. But more than anything, I will say this: the people that are still alive are all doing very well, extremely well. It's kind of like that movie, It. The kids that did survive are now all
successful, and
yeah, and they're all their own fields of the things they do. I got a buddy that owns a custom car shop in Bozeman. He runs one of the he's like the real gas monkey of Montana, the real deal.
Right.
And other Bitcoin millionaire friends and stuff like that. And it's been a wild ride, guys. It has. And so
sounds like it.
Maybe we can get some of your
I was
luck.
going to say, hopefully it'll rub off on us as well, because we like to, we're kind of philanthropic, whatever the word is. So we'd love to help out others.
Right? It just to tell you the truth, I tried to talk about this on Dixie Cryptid, and I just I choked up halfway through when I mentioned Sam's name, and I started getting vapory and started getting scared. And do you know what I mean? Because
Totally.
what you said a minute ago is so true. I don't want to wake this thing up if it's sleeping. I don't want to, if Smaug is in the tower with the gold, hey man, I'm a silver kind of guy. No problems for me.
Yep.
So,
well, hey,
but
we love Cam, of course, and he's helped us out a great deal. But hey, you heard it here first, folks, on Squatch Talks Podcast. So thank you, Tyrel.
That guy's something else. That dude has angel wings and a voice to back it up. A voice to back it up. He reminds me of those old Bradbury tales. Man, I could just listen to his voice and just go right to it, man.
I fall asleep most nights listening to his episodes, I must admit. Very soothing and interesting podcast. So for people that aren't familiar, it's Dixie Cryptid channel on YouTube, but he also has another channel called What If It's True on most of the Spotify, iHeart, Apple Tunes, that kind of thing.
All of the podcast platforms.
Exactly.
And they're all good. Go to them all, subscribe to them all. If he's got something to sell, buy it.
That's right.
He keeps busy, let me tell you. I reached out to him a couple of times over the holidays just to tell him I'm thinking about him and wishing him and his wife a good holiday and New Year. And I still haven't heard back from you. So Cam, if you're watching.
If I heard correct, I think he got sick, and then I tell you the truth, and I saw one of his video drops, and he said he got some. He was doing some work now and stuff like that. And man, that dude, when he gets work, dude, he's 100% devoted.
Totally. And Tyrel, I'm just kidding. Of course, I know he's a busy man, and I'm not that important.
Me neither. No. Cam's been a godsend to our company. To again, just. The world's a brighter place for having them. I can't just say that any other way. You know what I mean?
No doubt. So we're grateful. We're grateful. We have, hey, he gave us a lot of good information in the beginning. And here Nathan and I are celebrating a year of doing this now. We've got, a small little success as far as people watching. We've got over 55 videos dropped in a year.
There you go.
We've been associated now with the Yeti Bars brothers in New Mexico. And soon we'll be getting not a bar that says Dixie Cryptid. It's going to say Squatch Talks Podcast. So
you watched it here on Squatch Talks. And I'm sorry for the blunder on the flavor earlier. When I get to it, it's crazy. I start thinking I got a flavor that I'm going to do soon. That there's this mist that used to be out at all the hippie shops that you could spray your with and your pillow with, and it helps you sleep better. Well, it may not work for somebody, everybody, but it worked for this dude. I found the fragrance and I found the essential oil. And what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to probably be making a bar probably sometime, I think probably in February, kind of like a stress reliever. If you hate your husband, stress out with some sleep soap, something like that. But dude, it's crazy where all of this stuff sends you every day. Checking out fragrances. I've actually gone almost completely smell blind. I walk up to Papa Yeti, hey, smell this. She's like, get that out of my face. Smell this. Smell. I walk up to my daughter. Hey, babe, I love you. I love you too, Daddy. Come here, wait, smell this. My wife's like, what's for dinner? Oh, I was gonna cook some turkey, or some hamburgers, some barbecue. But hey, let me ask something. What? Smell this.
Smell this.
I do. So I wear a mask now pretty much 24/7. I'm starting to get my smell back, gloves on my hands and stuff like that. We're probably going to be moving to bee suits soon. It's hard to find a lot of these materials now. But with supply chain issues that I didn't think were a real thing. Well, it turns out it was real. We got hit with it in September, and who day law has it been a whirlwind since? But we're on the other side. We've got one of those things that we bought in bulk. I'm talking 55-gallon drums. And once we're done with it, we got a few enemies we're gonna get rid of.
I was gonna say, you got the whereabouts now that you can put somebody in there. That's forget about it.
You Heisenberg? No, man, I'm straight Ed. But no, I got to get going, guys. Thank you so much for having me on here.
Thank you.
Real quick, for people watching, I just want to remind everybody to go to yetibars.net, okay, and support these guys. They have not only the fine line of soaps and deodorants and lotions, but they also have shirts and other things available. And if you use STP10 at checkout, you'll be helping us out as well and get a little discount.
That's right.
So, as far as the STP bar, what do you think time frame wise?
In all honesty, I think I'm just going to locate this fragrance, and then from there, it's just me doing my Chef Boyardee thing right there. I'll tell you the truth, it's actually going to be, I don't see it be any later than probably the beginning of February, in all honesty. That way it has time to cure and get on the people's skin and go from there.
Great. Awesome. Then we can promote it over the next few weeks to really build it up. You know what I mean? So
there you go. I just, in all honesty, the only thing I'm thinking of now is I'm trying to think of color. With something like that, I was thinking actually just the normal soap base color would be really good with it because it's kind of like a white, kind of like a seashell white kind of thing. So if you're good with that, guys, I mean,
yeah, man,
see why we can't make it happen probably even faster.
You're the expert, so I'm relying on you.
You're the soap guy.
Don't put that on me, Ricky Bobby. Don't do that.
Hey, I'm wearing my 19. See that? But no, seriously, we are trusting in what you put out for us. We're going to be appreciative and looking forward to it. I'm a naturalist anyway, on a health food store, so the less dyes and perfumes, the better. Which I know you don't use anyway, but I do like the orange creamsicle, the dreamsicle bar. I'm a New Yorker by heart, so that's one of my favorites as well. And I do love Forest Fresh. That's another.
Oh, there you go. Okay, so with the Forest Fresh, that actually overtook our cold bar. In case anybody's listening, we get a lot of questions about that. Again, everything's gone up in prices. So we've acclimated all of our activated charcoal to that one bar, and to actually a bar that we're going to be creating for Nance over at Buckeye Bigfoot. From there, that's going to be all of our charcoal line.
Who I think you have on in the background when you're doing your Fruity Pebbles video. Was that Nance I heard in the background?
Yeah, that's her. If anybody hasn't heard of her, go over there. She's Nance is a great lady. Again, another angel with wings and a voice to follow. So she's not like us heathens here that you see me, Eric, and Nathan, man. Just
hey, I want to thank you again though for coming on and for what you're doing and for keeping us smelling good and fresh. And I really appreciate you sharing those stories with us. And I hope that you can now let Sam go and
sleep good
and get some good rest, and happy, healthy New Year to you and your family. All right. Give guys Eli our regards.
I will. I'll give the fans, but I promise you he's real.
And Papa Yeti. Oh, and one last thing, please. Thanks for squatching, but when you're making a video next time, you could have us on in the background. I don't mind.
I don't see why not. Like I said, from one heathen to the next, we can get our barbarian on where we make some soap.
Yeah.
Hey guys, again, so much for having me on. Nathan, Eric, I appreciate you guys so much. Just have a great night, be well, and actually do stay safe out there weather-wise. Everything's getting crazy. Just be safe, just, be well.
All right, Yeti brother. Thanks for coming on.
Later on.
Later. And cut.
Wow. That's a lot of energy, man.
How was that?
That's a lot of energy.
I thought that was awesome, and he told us some pretty cool stories. So
that was freaky
good,
freaky. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't want to see that. I wouldn't want to see that guy.
He had a bitchin' time, is what he just texted me.
Cool.
So that was fun.
All right, man. That was cool. I enjoyed that.
Awesome.
Yeah. That was great.
That was really great. I'm going to
Mhm.
say great job.
Yeah, and the way he got into business and the things he's doing, that's
Yeah, and
it's really inspiring, really.
totally. And then, like I said, he, as far as, you and I both being investigators and stuff, I mean, we can tell, somebody who's making something up or lying
Oh
from a
yeah,
mile away. You
yeah,
could see the raw emotion coming through. You know what I
yeah,
mean? And
yeah.
this,
You can't make your voice quiver like that on command.
I can't believe how it really does. You can still see it affects him. So
Mhm.
give him props for sharing that with us, and hopefully, yeah, he could let it go and move on. And what he was describing was what we call a geographic cure, when you move from like Montana to New Mexico. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
But Nathan, it's been a great year,
yeah,
and
it is.
happy anniversary again. I know you guys were celebrating today as a family, the event. So
That's right.
there's a picture of you holding your super baby in his first Bigfoot
Yeah,
t-shirt, looking good, very cute. It's what it's about,
that's right. Having a good time and just sharing the love,
Indeed. So yeah, I already told our viewers to go check out Yeti Bars, and hey, where can they find us and reach us for questions or suggest?
Nasbro.net,
And where should they email us?
Squatch Talks Podcast @gmail.com.
It's gonna pop up right there. Oh, there it
Yeah.
is. And
Yeah.
hey,
And then I can't wait till we can share the love with our Squatch Talks bar.
you heard
Whiskey
Tyrel.
and whiskey and coffee. That's going to be great.
Bourbon and coffee. Yeah, man. That's like a real manly, like alpha male Squatch kind of scent.
Yeah.
So I
For
don't know if
sure.
I'm big enough to wear that proudly, but
I'm trying to get there with the beard, more squatchy.
hey, appreciate all of you sharing and liking and following us, whatever platform you're on. And if you don't mind subscribing, but
Yep. And share the crap out of it.
yeah, man. So
all right. Thanks for squatching.
Thanks for checking out this episode of Squatch Talks Podcast. Don't forget to subscribe, follow, and give us a like, and stay tuned for more exciting stories on Squatch Talks.
and we're out.
Cut.
He'll have this bar out as soon as I locate the materials, he said. So
That was great. I really enjoyed that with him. We can have him on again.
Oh, for no doubt, especially when it comes out,
Yeah.
I changed it to speaker view when he was telling the story too, so he'll be right up there, looking good.
Cool. Had to put my podcasting pants on.
Your stretchies?
Yeah.
Wow.
I felt like I got run over, man.
I was just checking some stats.
Yeah. Keep talking.
Shirts look okay? I don't know.
The yellow one's a little crookedy.
A little crookedy. That better?
Yeah. Looks wonderful.
Yeah. So Mike Rufo came in wearing his green in stories and encounters shirt, drinking his coffee out of the Squatch Talks podcast mug. Got the new cast up here. Can't really see the feet. I have it turned that way. Got Patty in front of it.
As it should be.
Yeah. Right. Tyrel sent me some things we can talk about.
Okay.
There's a few things we can hit on. Who we are as a company, what we have going on that's new, what we're going to do with your bar, and the 2023 year. That way you don't have any dead noise and I'll talk your ear off. I said, all great stuff, exactly what I had in mind. With one more final question. What got you guys into the biz and how did you come up with the name Yeti Bars? Is it because you had an experience in the past? And he sent me a long response to that. We chose Yeti Bars because we've always believed in cryptid, beast, and the supernatural. We've had supernatural experiences our whole life. So since we were raised in the North, we went with Yeti Bars, and it's a badass name.
It is.
All right, brother. I love you.
Love you too, man.
Have a good night.
You too.